It's nice to meet you. First off, I want to say I'm very encouraged by seeing everybody in here tonight. It's always very nice to see how many people get engaged in our community events. And this may be, in today's political climate, this may be an unusual thing to say, but I'm not running for mayor or for public office here to disparage what we have as a great leadership in our community. Our mayor is wonderful, our board is wonderful. I'm here as part of my civic duty to offer anyone who may want a choice in their decisions. And I'm here also to focus on our community. I've been here 20 years now, and I really enjoy Kernersville. I want to raise my son here, continue to have a good, safe, small community for him to live in, as small as we can possibly continue to be with the inevitable growth that happens. My focus is to help make sure that everybody in our community can continue to stay informed in the best way possible. We do a good job of trying to make sure that information gets out to people, but if there are people that are missing out on that, we can target some of those opportunities to invest in ways to communicate better, and also making sure that we manage our growth and our future in a much responsible way that we need to, in a responsible way that really sees to the needs of everybody in our community. There are a lot of different opinions about things that should or shouldn't happen and things that need to be done when we grow and how we grow, and those are the things that I'd like to help focus on. Our mayor's done a wonderful job in her time here, presenting many opportunities and making sure that the town is presented in a great light. And should I be given that opportunity, I'd love to do the same thing. I feel very qualified to make sure that Kernersville continues to be looked at in such a great light, and I really care about our community deeply. I work in the medical field now for Advocate Atrium Health, and I do a lot of different things that require finding solutions to difficult problems that sometimes people might push to the wayside because they're not popular things that need to be fixed, or they're not easy to find a solution for them. So in that, I think that I can bring a really unique way to look at our position of mayor, and by all means, Mayor Morgan is not just a figurehead, and I hear that a lot when I see a lot of discussions about town politics. There are lots of things our mayor does and can do and can continue to do, and I would like to continue that by doing a lot of different things that represent us, as far as communicating with different representatives from different agencies that we need to communicate with, whether it be state or federal agencies. Different opportunities for our citizens to be involved in our community and to work closely with our alderman and with our town manager. All very important things that our mayors do and need to be done in a responsible way. And I know that I can continue to do that for anybody. I'm really open to hearing everybody's opinions and questions tonight. If you have any opportunity to speak to me, be careful what you wish for. Once I get started, it may be hard to stop me, as you can ask these ladies up here. So I'm very honored to be here, to be a part of this. I feel like it's one of the things I can do as part of my civic duty, is to give back to my community and be involved in any way I possibly can. I feel like I have an opportunity to do so here. And to everybody that's running for office here, I think these are wonderful people, and I hope everybody here has a really good, strong campaign, and I hope that you all get some answers that you would like to have to make really good, informed decisions. So thank you for having
me. It is an honor to serve as mayor, which I have done since 2008. My name is Dawn Morgan. I served prior to being mayor. I served on the Kernersville Planning Board and served as an alderman. I'm a graduate of the University of Virginia. I'm an English major. I have a master's in business administration from the University of Texas at Austin, and my law degree is from Wake Forest University. These are the experiences I've had as a mom and someone who's taking care of her aging mother, are all things that I bring to my position. Currently, I'm also, for the past year, I was appointed and continuing to serve on the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Utilities Commission, which is important for the water, sewer, and other infrastructure for our community. In my service, I've learned a lot of things. And in the past 4 years, it has been an incredible honor to serve with the current board. We've worked well together, all of us, for the past 4 years and accomplished great things. And I'd like to share 3 things with you that I've learned. The first is, great things are happening in Kernersville, and this is a wonderful place to be. We have a safe community. Our fire department, we're sitting in the fire station right now, but our fire department has been recognized as one of the best in the entire state of North Carolina for readiness to respond. We have an ISO rating of 1, and the town manager, who I served with for many years, remembers as an elected official, our rating was about a 6. We were working towards getting to be a 4. So it's been tremendous strides for protection for our community, for our all hazards department that responds in any type of emergency to have this recognition. We have incredible health care, a hospital, a VA healthcare center, and so many specialty practices that people are coming from all over the Triad to see their favorite doctor right here in Kernersville, which is great for our residents because we don't have that far to drive. Fantastic jobs. John Deere is undergoing a tremendous expansion. It's the second big expansion they've had, along with the big names you've seen, Amazon, FedEx, they're all in our community, along with local businesses expanding and growing. XPO recently moved to the old roadway location. They're going to go from 200 jobs to 800, and importantly, they're revitalizing that site that has been a trucking logistics terminal for years, which could have become an eyesore and dilapidated in our community. If you look closely, there's a lot of brand new paint. Don't be the driver, be the passenger, but look down and see 232 garage doors. And they are going to handle an incredible amount of freight there as they scale up their operations. Of course, we have the new Parks and Rec Center and our festivals and events that keep our hometown charm. More good things are going to be happening in Kernersville. We are only just starting, and experience matters for getting things done for our citizens. Experience is what brings the ideas and dreams to reality. My name is Dawn Morgan, and on November 4th, I ask for your vote to continue my service as mayor. Thank you.
I'm glad I'm on the front end because I'm hearing some pretty doggone good polished speeches. And I'm not sure you're going to hear one right now, but what you're going to hear is going to come from my heart. I promise you that. As you know, from the outset of this election, it has been my position that the incumbents have served you well. We work well together, as the mayor alluded to. I will tell you, I can't see an R or a D beside any of these people's names up here. I cannot see it because that's not what I see when we're in deliberation. We are a unified board, and sadly we had to lay to rest a key part of that board this past weekend with Joe Penix. And I know that you will miss him, that you realize that his tentacles into this community, into the fabric of this community, have been immeasurable over the years. So I want to certainly offer my respect and honor and memory of Joe Penix. But we still have incumbents who have filed to run for re-election. And of course with Mayor Morgan, with John Barrow, with Chris Thompson, with General, where's the General? There he is, General Gore. I retired as a Lieutenant Colonel from the Air Force Reserve, so I have to be sure that I don't let him get the big head while we talk. But he deserves our respect as well. But Chris Thompson and the whole board has worked so well together, and we've been unified, and we remain that way. That does not mean that we don't have capable folks who have filed to run for election to the board. We certainly do. And I want to congratulate each and every one of you for stepping forward and offering your service to the town. You're all great folks. Just 2 or 3 highlights that I want to point out, and I'm going to suggest to you a couple of things that are unattainable in the next 2 years because of political reality. And that is that we, for the first time, will be running for election for the 26-27 year term, 2-year term. We are required by state law to run partisan elections. We must file either as a Democrat or as a Republican, or if we file unaffiliated, which I think most of us ran as heretofore. Did I turn something off? Okay, has that got it? Thank you. But in any event, we found ourselves and find ourselves running partisan elections. That is contrary to the history of this board. Your Board of Aldermen have run nonpartisan elections forever. And there really is no need other than political expediency for us to have to declare party affiliation. We don't operate that way. We don't talk about it as we deliberate. And I respect, regardless of party affiliation of any of my colleagues on the board, I respect so much the contribution that they make to make Kernersville a wonderful place to live and work and play. So I certainly hope that we can start the ball rolling. I'm told by folks who are much more politically savvy than I am that it's going to take a couple of years to get that turned around. We're going to start it immediately. That's important. I remember when John Owensby ran, who was the owner and publisher of the Kernersville News, when he ran articles the past elections that we've stood, he would do questions of the week, and we'd all have to prepare answers to those questions, okay? And that was a really difficult thing, but it gave you, even though it got me up at 6 a.m. on Thursday mornings, it gave you to write the answer. It really gives you a window as to what we represent. So I want to certainly thank John and his legacy as well that he has left with the journalists in the town, one of whom was his right-hand guy sitting in the front row. We love him. But I said at that time, when he asked a question about what did we feel was our best challenge, our biggest challenge of the term of our service. And I said then, and I say now, and that is to manage growth. Now, Dawn has provided leadership, great leadership for us over the years, and she has sort of had the tiller as we've undertaken to manage growth responsibly. And we still have that challenge, but it's changed. I'm about to have time called on but I'm out. But anyhow, managing growth is the second thing that I want to say to you, that going forward, the face of that will change. Housing demands have changed. Realtors want inventory to sell. And citizens want places to live, and not all of them can afford single-family homes. So we'll be managing that responsibly and try to reflect the needs and demands of our citizens, young or old. So I thank you for the support you've given me the last 3 terms, I guess 2 terms. That's, every vote is appreciated, and I want to thank you if you find it in your heart to cast a vote for me in the coming election. Please elect your incumbents, and if opportunity presents itself, there's not a single person up here that I don't feel I could serve very easily with, and with respect for their abilities and what they bring to the table. Thank you for your support.
John Barrow, and I have lived here in Kernersville for 70 years. And the only person that lived here any longer was Joe, the oldest one on the phone. We had a good time together, reminiscent about the way Kernersville was. My job is simple as always. This will be my first term on running board. It's only going to run for 2. But once I got into it, it's the sticky thing you can't get away from. Because you start stuff and government moves very slow. So it takes a lot of time to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. My mandate is very simple. And it's the quality of life that the citizens here in Kernersville enjoy. That's what I was raised with, a certain quality of life. And I would like to see the town of Kernersville maintain that quality of life. And that's the way I go about doing what I do. And I don't work for the town, I work for the people. And when people's got a problem, they'll call me. I've been around here forever. They'll call me, I'll figure out what needs to happen, and I'll do what I can do to facilitate making that right. And talking about the quality of life, all you gotta do is look around. If you live here, what's the biggest problem we have in Kernersville? Well, just get out here on South Main any afternoon, and out here on 66, the traffic is horrible. And you know who can make that right? The state of North Carolina, DOT. And if you think government moves slow, the DOT's twice as slow. And they plan years and years and years ahead of what they want to get done. And by the time it comes around, guess what? Things has changed. Does that deter them? No, man, they just keep doing whatever their plan was. My focus, since I've been on the board, is to just answer the question of what do we got to do to make the quality of life as good now and in the future as it has been in the past. Because I love living here. I love the people here. I love the way Kernersville feels. And that's what we got to keep doing. Now, one thing that I got on, I don't know, 2 years ago was a pool. And I've got all kinds of feedback from people on the pool. We don't need a pool, yakety yak, all this other stuff. Well, I felt like we needed a pool. And I felt like that for probably 50 years. Why does Kernersville not have a pool? 28,000 people, all these kids. You know, you got to teach your kids how to swim. Teach a kid how to swim, somebody's not going to drown. That's very important. And I think it's a thing that the government should do. Less government is better, but you got to have a pool. I've been pushing that. And we're going to have a pool in 2027. We're going to be able to go here in Kernersville and swim for next to nothing. We're going to have swimming lessons for the kids, and we're going to do what we're supposed to do as a town. And I'm very proud of that. And when I brought that up, the first person to say, man, I've been waiting 60 years for a pool, was Joe Penix. And me and him both been waiting a long time, him a little longer than me. But he was right there with it. The rest of the board's been with it, the mayor's been with it, and we're gonna make it a reality. It's gonna happen. I was only gonna run for 2 terms when I first started this, and I said, that'll be enough, but like I said, you get to messing with it and you can't get away from it. I want to see the pool finished. I'd like to see that. And I would also like to see the traffic handled in some way, okay? That's what we feel. We feel the awful traffic. Well, what's got to be done? One thing we can't do is build a bunch of apartments all over Kernersville and dump 300 people here and 500 there and 300 over here and expect it not to impact our traffic. Because they've done nothing, the state's done nothing to make it any better. So we've got to look very carefully at the development here in Kernersville. And I promise you, and I've looked at it very carefully. And I've got my opinions about it. And if you watch us on TV or read what we write, you know how I feel about it. It's got to enhance the quality of life of those people living in Kernersville. That's the main thing. Not people that are not living here, but people that live here, make their life here. I think that's very important. We'll run out of time. Already 20 minutes. I get closing arguments longer than this. But anyhow, that's my focus. That's what I want to do for 2 more years. I think the board we got's a great board. I got no complaints with any of them. They're all good people. And it takes a while to learn how to do this kind of thing, but you know, there's so many things that take care of itself. And we can thank Curtis Swisher over there. I've known him since he was about this tall. And I'll tell you, I love the man, and he's probably the best town manager in the state of North Carolina. We're out of that. He won't never come up in the paper and say, you know, we lost $40 million and we don't know where it's at. You know, that will never happen, okay? Because he stays on top of it, he keeps the board informed of it, and does a great job. And I would like, if you see fit, vote for me, because I'd like to continue my work and keep doing what I can do for the people of Kernersville. That's my concern. Thank you very much.
Good evening, and thanks for being here. My name is Michael Inscore, and I'm running for a seat on the Town of Kernersville Board of Alderman. For over 2 decades, Kernersville has been my home and the place where I've raised my family and built my business. I've been a proud resident, but also an active community member here in Kernersville. Deeply committed to ensuring our town grows in a positive, sustainable direction. My experience as an entrepreneur in the development, construction, and real estate industry has given me a unique understanding of the challenges and opportunities that our town faces. It is this experience combined with the proven track record of leadership and community service that I feel will be a great asset to the Board of Alderman. My professional life has been dedicated to building and creating, and I'm a past president of the Home Builders Association, Winston-Salem, and the North Carolina Home Builders Association. My past leadership at Kernersville Foundation focused on preserving our town's rich history, while my current role on the Board of Directors for the Home Builders Association of Winston-Salem and Builders Mutual Insurance Company keeps me at the forefront of our community's needs. As a proven and effective leader, I believe that success outcomes stem from teamwork, collaboration, and a deep commitment to the people we serve. My campaign is built on listening to the people's voices of Kernersville, new residents and longtime neighbors alike whose concerns, hopes, and visions of our town have shaped my priorities. If elected, I will work closely with my fellow aldermen to manage the town's growth responsibly, ensuring that we have the infrastructure to support our expanding population while preserving the small town charm that we all cherish. I am committed to aligning development projects with our community's needs and values, promoting progress that brings new opportunities while positively impacting our existing neighborhoods and businesses. We need to continue supporting our local businesses. It's very important. The best defense against feeling like we're losing our identity, simply stopping growth, is not a sustainable option. But we can make sure that as we grow, we actively invest in the elements that make Kernersville special. My focus will remain on 3 key pillars: maintaining public safety to keep Kernersville a secure place to call home, delivering high-quality services that our citizens deserve, and protecting the investment we've all made in our properties and our community. I will be a tireless advocate and dedicated voice for all citizens, working to ensure your concerns are heard and your vision is a top priority. For the past 2 years, I've had the honor of serving on the Kernersville Planning Board. This experience has given me a deep understanding of our Unified Development Ordinance and a clear vision to how to manage Kernersville's growth responsibly. I've seen firsthand the opportunities and challenges we face, and I'm committed to ensuring our town's future is one of the positive, thoughtful growth that preserves the small town charm. I believe my experience is crucial for guiding our town's direction, and I'm ready to bring that perspective to the Board of Alderman. My name is Michael Linscore. I'm asking for your vote tonight. I appreciate you being here, and thanks for letting me speak.
Well, let's go back to the double track, where the work is hard and the boss is mean, where the food is dirty because the cook ain't clean. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is the back to work call of a 7th grade educated sharecropper, my daddy, right? And I tell you that to let you know where I come from, okay? But I am honored that this community have given me the opportunity to serve for the last 4 years, and to serve with some of the greatest people that I've gotten to know here in Kernersville. And I, like John, I said I was going to go 2 terms. But when I got on the board, right, because I have a love for this community. And it was cemented in 2004 when I had to leave this great community and go and serve my country in Iraq. And when I left here, the mayor at that time proclaimed that day J.R. Gorham's Day. And I left my wife and my children in this community. And this community took care of my wife and my family while I was gone. So the love that I have for this community is why I'm running again. Because I love Kernersville and everybody in it. And I want another opportunity to continue to work with this great group of people that we've been working with for the last 4 years, right? And I don't excuse my emotions because that's what I feel in my heart about this community. And I'm going to ask that you give me another opportunity. You know, as John and others has alluded to, the biggest issue that we have here is trying to grow strategically, because we got to do it, but at the same time try to keep that hometown effect. I come from a little small town, right? And I know how that small town effect, the importance of it. And we struggle with that constantly in our decision-making process. But we have done a great job, I think, over the last 4 years. And I think if you let us go again, we can do even more. Help John get that pool that he's been working on, right? You know, one of the things that I'm most appreciative of, I had the opportunity to introduce Juneteenth to our community when I came aboard, right? Now, a lot of folks had some concern about that, but it's the difference between Juneteenth and 4th of July. 4th of July was the independence of a country. Juneteenth is the freedom of a people. And I thought it deserved recognition in our community. And this board that you currently have saw what I saw. And we came together as a group and we made it happen, right? For the last 4 years, we have celebrated that here in Kernersville, one of the major accomplishments that I had a little bit to do with, but why not, you know? But in my closing, I'm going to ask you to go one step further. Yeah, I want your vote, but I want your vote of everybody that you know, your friends, your family, and your associates. I need their votes too. They're not here tonight, but y'all can take the message. Tell them they got 5 votes. I just want one of them. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Hey neighbors, how you doing? I'm Randy Peter. I have lived here since I was born, 64 years ago. I've got roots that run down into the red mud of this place. And after having spent 40-some years in a career in IT, I'm still employed, but it's time to give back. And that's where I am now. I want to talk a little bit about community. What pops into your head when you think about community? Everybody has a shared resource they think of. What I think about is a wood stove. My dad ran a garage out of the back of the house for, I think from 1974 to 2012, the day he died. It didn't have heat. It didn't have air conditioning. It did have a wood stove. And that's what I think. I think of a wood stove. He owned that garage, but the whole community that he had formed, community of RJ Reynolds and retirees, AMP retirees, so forth and so on, all gathered together that morning after having made their sojourn to Hardee's And the cost was one sausage biscuit. And they could gather by and hang by and warm themselves by the fire that whole day. I see Kernersville as a community that way. Shared resources. What I look to focus on is infrastructure, and this present board has done a bang-up job improving infrastructure here. Traffic's horrendous. I'd like for us to see what we can do to offset that. There's too many cars on the road, and I'd like to see us explore some sort of mass transit, especially around some of these apartment areas, to where we can offset that a little bit. Bill was talking about the R's and the D's behind the name, and we all have caricatures of one another. What's going to heal this country? Because we got problems in this country right now, but what's going to heal this country, just like a cut heals from the inside out, the healing is going to come from the deepest part, the closest part of the communities on out. We can't run a town fighting like cats and dogs. That's the way I look at it. That I will work with this whole board, if you give me the opportunity, to keep Kernersville a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Sarah Jane Savanas, and I really hope that I can earn your vote. My approach here is simple, and first and foremost, if you've seen my signs, good politics starts local. That is us here. I want to make sure that we are accessible. I am ready to get my hands dirty and work for the good of our town. I am a mother of 2 little boys. I chose to have my family here in Kernersville. When my mom moved here in 2009, I was in college. I started coming up here every other weekend and was like, this is where I want to be. I love this small town. And so when I graduated from Clemson with a bachelor's degree in management, I moved up here and started working for AmeriCorps. That is with Habitat for Humanity of Forsyth County. Civic engagement is very important to me and has been a bedrock of what I have been raised on, making sure that you are serving your community. I had a brief stint in High Point because they had amazing affordable first-time homebuyer credits. And once I had my sons with my husband, I said, all right, going back to Kernersville. We need to get back there. I live across the street from my mother and 3 doors down from my grandparents. I think that it takes a village to do any of this. We are a community of people. We all walk the same streets, drive the same roads, get stuck in the same traffic. We have the same goals. We want to make sure that Kernersville stays the heart of the triad. I love that that's our town motto because that's what it is. We are the heart of the triad. My priorities, if elected as your next alderman, you're going to hear all of us say this, infrastructure. Our town's growing. Infrastructure needs to keep up. We need to work alongside NCDOT, as Mr. Burrow said. That's a beast in its own. They have their own ideas. But I'm ready to fight for our town. We need to make sure that we have access to utilities, not just the new developments that are coming in, but also the existing developments. I know multiple people who are born and raised here still can't get hooked up to sewer. A block away from the sewer hookup, they're building a new development. They get sewer. There's issues with stormwater. I know that our community development group our department has been working very hard on trying to mitigate stormwater. We need to make sure that we are prioritizing that in our budgets. As I mentioned, I am a mother of 2 little boys. I love the fact that we are expanding our recreation here, the new Parks and Rec Center, the pool, all of those things. I don't want to have to take my children to Winston-Salem or Greensboro to go have a fun time, have to drive 30 minutes. I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. They do not like long car rides. I want to make sure that we continue to support our local businesses here. I love the festivals, the car show, phenomenal, especially with little boys. I want to make sure that we create and maintain these vibrant community spaces because that is part of Kernersville and the heart of Kernersville. I also feel like we could use some updating to our Unified Development Ordinance that Mr. Inscore mentioned. There are aspects there. We have higher regulations around putt-putt golf than we do those electronic gaming parlors. I think that we need to have a thorough review. If you want to learn more about me, I have a website, I have this thing, you'll see my signs around town. I really hope to earn your vote. My name is Sarah Jane Sabanis. Thank you.
My name is Chris Thompson. I'm currently an alderman and your mayor pro tem. I'm honored to be seeking re-election for the 6th term on the board, and I respectfully ask for your support and your vote on November the 4th. My family and I have proudly called Kernersville home since 1995. My wife, Sue Ellen, which is here, is a dedicated 23-year 5th grade teacher at Kernersville Elementary School. And we've raised our children here. My daughter Macy's a senior at UNC Charlotte, and our son Blaine is a senior at Adkins High School, and he just received his Eagle Scout Award. Professionally, I own and manage a real estate firm. I'm a licensed general contractor and real estate broker with over 25 years experience in the industry. I've built more than 150 homes in and around Kernersville and have served on numerous local boards and committees. My work has given me a deep understanding of zoning, land use, and fiscal management. I believe that combining this professional expertise with practical and common sense leadership has enabled me to serve effectively as your alderman. Over the past 10 years, I've been proud to help lead many initiatives that have directly benefited our community. For example, we strategically constructed a centrally located fire station, the one you're sitting in, on Highway 66, significantly reducing emergency response times to under 5 minutes. We've also expanded our public safety services by partnering with and managing both Colfax and Beeson Crossroads fire departments. Efforts aimed at improving coverage and enhancing the safety for all of our citizens. We've invested in the recreational infrastructure as well. At Ivy Redmond Sports Complex, we've secured a large tract of land and have since added a new facility and tournament gym, providing greater access to space for sports and community programs. We also created Founders Park, a beautiful passive park in the center of downtown, built on the site of the old school tools building. Features a water element, pedestrian bridge, and peaceful walkways where residents can relax and reflect. Looking ahead, we're currently developing, as John said, a new community pool at Pope Park, adjacent to the newly constructed Greenway. Importantly, this facility will be a non-membership based, ensuring that all residents, regardless of income, have affordable access to this much-needed amenity. This is a part of continued commitment to inclusive public spaces that serve the entire community. If re-elected, I'll remain focused on reasonably managing Kernersville's rapid growth through thoughtful and comprehensive planning. I'll continue to advocate for strong town services, investment in recreation, and further revitalization of our downtown core. Finally, I'd like to address what most everyone else actually has already addressed. For the first time, Kernersville municipal elections are being held on a partisan basis. While I fully respect the decisions made at the state level, I'm saddened by the division of this has introduced to our local political climate. Municipal government should be rooted in community values, not party politics. Over my decade of service, I can confidently say that partisan affiliation has never influenced our board's decision. Our focus has always been and should remain on the best interest for Kernersville and its citizens. Thank you for your time and trust and continued support, and I look forward to the opportunity to serve you again.